Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are tackling something huge, a challenge that literally millions of students run into every single semester. You know, online classes have this amazing reputation for being so much easier and way more flexible, right? You get to study on your own schedule, there's absolutely zero commute, and you definitely don't have to sit in a freezing lecture hall at 8 in the morning. But, as we're going to see, that flexibility, it's kind of an illusion, and it actually leaves you entirely on your own. This right here is the exact trap so many of us fall into. Think about the contrast. For the first week or two, it feels fantastic. It's self-paced, it's relaxed. But then, well, week 6 hits, and reality sets in fast. Suddenly, there's no accountability. You don't have a professor standing there watching to see if you look confused, and there are no classmates chatting before class to remind you about a massive midterm. Honestly, most students who struggle aren't lazy at all. They're just missing that invisible scaffolding that a normal physical classroom naturally provides. Without it, those deadlines just start sneaking up on you out of nowhere. So, what does this all mean? Well, the absolute crucial takeaway here is this. If that invisible structure is missing, you've got to build the scaffolding yourself, literally from the ground up, and we're going to do it with AI. That is the core thesis of our explainer today. We're going to dive into exactly how you can construct a totally reliable, customized AI system to manage your entire semester from day 1 straight through to final exams. To pull this off, we've got a clear 6-step roadmap. We'll set up your command center, process lectures actively, tackle written assignments, build a daily AI study routine, prepare for exams, and finally, wrap it all together with a weekly maintenance system. Now, you might be wondering about the catch, but the most remarkable part of this whole toolkit, it's the cost. ChatGPT, Notion, Otter.ai, NotebookLM, Claude, this is an insanely powerful AI toolkit covering everything from your scheduling to active recall, and it's not going to cost you a single dollar to start. Every single tool is completely free, and every step is super practical. Okay, let's dive right into step 1, setting up your command center on day 1. Literally before you even watch a single lecture, you need to download the syllabus for every single course you're taking. Seriously, all of them. Then open up ChatGPT and paste them in, one by one, using this exact prompt. You're going to ask it to extract every assignment, quiz, and deadline into a chronological list. And here's the kicker. Explicitly ask it to identify your 3 busiest weeks. What you get back instantly is a master chronological deadline list for your whole semester. Just like that, you're no longer living week to week and getting totally blindsided. Next up, you grab that master list and move it right over into Notion. You just paste it into a free Notion page and ask the built-in Notion AI to format it as a weekly checklist. Boom, you instantly have a live, highly visible tracking system. You literally just check items off as you go. Setting the whole shebang up takes maybe 30 minutes on day 1, and I promise you, it puts you ahead of about 90% of online students who are out there just kind of winging it. All right, moving right along to step 2, active lecture processing, basically the daily grind. We've absolutely got to stop zoning out during those long, incredibly dry video lectures. Here is a brilliant 3-step workflow that flips passive watching into highly active learning. First, use Otter.ai to grab a free, full-text transcript of your lecture audio. Second, you just paste that exact transcript over into Google's NotebookLM. Finally, ask NotebookLM to pull out the 5 most important concepts, summarize them in plain English, and generate 5 exam-style practice questions. Because NotebookLM only pulls from the transcript you feed it, you get this tightly focused 10-minute review document based strictly on what your professor actually taught, not just random facts it scraped off the internet. But we really have to face a tough question here. What actually happens when you let those unprocessed lectures stack up for 2 weeks? Well, honestly, it's the beginning of the end. You absolutely, non-negotiably must process these lectures the exact same day they drop. Passive watching leads to terrible retention, and if you let them pile up, you're basically taking a wrecking ball to that new invisible scaffolding you just built. Let's move on to step 3, tackling written assignments and decoding those rubrics. In an online class, you usually just get a super dense PDF rubric and a looming deadline. There's no professor physically standing there so you can raise your hand and say, hey, I'm lost. So before you write a single word, paste those instructions into Claude with this prompt. Claude is absolutely fantastic at translating heavy academic jargon into plain, everyday English. It will literally tell you exactly what an A-grade response looks like and point out the most common mistakes. Figuring out what the professor actually wants before you start typing, that completely prevents you from accidentally submitting the wrong thing. Now, this next prompt, it might actually be the most underused trick in all of academic writing. Once you've got your rough draft, paste it back into Claude and ask it to compare your work directly against the actual rubric criteria. You're basically asking the AI to spot your missing elements and weak points and tell you exactly what changes will push your paper from a B to an A. Think about it. Every gap the AI finds is something you can easily fix right now. Every gap your professor finds, that costs you a letter grade. Fix it before you hit submit, not after.
Okay, step 4 is absolutely crucial, the AI study routine, focusing on daily review.
We've got to talk about the forgetting curve. Without a regular review process, the info you learn in an online class just fades from your short-term memory within 24 hours. It's gone. To fight this, use this 10-minute daily review prompt. After studying, tell Claude what you remember, but here's the trick, without looking at your notes. Then ask it to correct you and give you follow-up questions. This is basically taking the famous Feynman technique and baking it right into a prompt. It forces your brain to actively recall the info first, and then the AI swoops in to patch up the gaps and really deepen your understanding. Next up is step 5, preparing for online exams and nailing the open note strategy. There's this huge trap in online classes where students hear open note and immediately think, easy. No way. In reality, open note exams require you to find and apply information incredibly fast. So here is the perfect AI-powered exam timeline. 1 week out, have the AI look at your topics and generate the 10 most likely concepts to show up, complete with practice questions. Then, 3 days out, use AI to build a full mock exam that you take under real-timed conditions. After that, have the AI grade your answers and explain your mistakes. Finding your weak spots on a practice run means you can actually fix them before the real deal. Finally, we've arrived at step 6, the weekly maintenance system, or your Sunday check-in. This is the glue that holds everything together. See that number? 10? That is the magic number here. It represents minutes, just 10 minutes. This is a totally non-negotiable weekly check-in, and it takes only 10 minutes every single Sunday. Let me break down exactly how you're going to use them. You're going to run a weekly audit prompt. Just tell the AI what you plan to do that week versus what you actually got done, and ask it to build a 4-day catch-up plan for you. This forces you to get real about your schedule. As the source material points out so perfectly, catching a 2-hour gap on a Sunday, totally manageable. Trying to catch a catastrophic 20-hour gap the week before finals, that is a total crisis. This quick audit prompt literally stops the crisis before it can even start.
And for the last 5 minutes of that 10-minute window, you just do a quick Sunday preview. Ask yourself 3 things. What lectures are dropping this week? What assignments are coming due? And what readings do I really need to prioritize? Honestly, just taking 5 minutes to preview your upcoming week is going to save you a solid hour of confusion and decision fatigue later on. So let's do a super quick rundown of our 6 steps. 1. Build that Notion command center on day 1. 2. Process your lectures actively with Otter and NotebookLM. 3. Decode those rubrics and run draft checks with Claude. 4. Use AI for your daily active recall. 5. Stick to that exam timeline with AI mock exams. And 6. Commit to your 10-minute Sunday check-in. This entire ultra-powerful AI scaffolding is totally free, and you can literally start building it tonight. Which brings me to a final thought I want you to reflect on. Which online class challenge is hitting you the hardest right now? Is it just finding the motivation to log on? Is it zoning out during lectures, struggling with super confusing assignments, or just flat out panicking over exams? I challenge you right now to pick just one step from today's explainer. Maybe just grab your syllabus and do that day 1 upload to ChatGPT and tackle your biggest hurdle head on. You really don't have to navigate online classes alone anymore. You just need to build the right system. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy studying!